I have the perfect life with a husband who did nothing wrong, but somewhere between the routine, the silence, and pretending I was fine, I lost myself and finally admitted I can't keep living like this. That Saturday night, we went out. It wasn't planned as anything special, just a dinner invite from someone my husband works with. Normally, I wouldn't think twice about it, but I remember feeling oddly restless while getting dressed, like I needed something to happen just so the night wouldn't feel pointless. I put on a dress I hadn't worn in a while, not flashy, just nicer than usual, and I caught myself checking my reflection longer than necessary. That alone made me uncomfortable because I didn't recognize why I cared so much. At dinner, I drank more than I usually do, not in a dramatic way, not falling over drunk, just enough that everything felt looser, conversations felt easier, laughter came quicker, and that constant irritation I'd been carrying around finally dulled. I remember thinking, this is what I was missing. Not the people, not the place, just the feeling of not being wound so tight all the time. My husband stayed polite and reserved like always, careful not to embarrass himself or anyone else, and for some reason that irritated me again. I couldn't explain it, but watching him sit there, controlled and predictable, made me feel trapped. As the night went on, my thoughts started drifting in directions I didn't like. I wasn't thinking about doing anything wrong, but I was noticing things too sharply. The way people looked at me when I laughed, the way I felt when attention landed on me, even briefly. It wasn't validation exactly, but it made me feel visible in a way I hadn't felt in a long time. That realization alone made me feel guilty, which then made me angry at myself for feeling guilty, which somehow made me want to drink more just to shut my brain up. By the time we left, everything felt heavier. My body felt sluggish, my head foggy, my emotions all over the place. Back at home, the noise of the night dropped away too fast, and the house felt overwhelming again. I sat on the edge of the bed trying to ground myself, but instead I felt disconnected, like I was watching myself from the outside. My husband was already settling in, tired, ready for sleep, and I felt this irrational resentment that he could just switch off like that. Lying there, I started spiraling. Not about anything specific, just this sense that I'd lost something important about myself and didn't know when or how. I felt both restless and exhausted, craving closeness, but also wanting to be left alone. When my husband reached for me, it wasn't aggressive or inappropriate, but it made my skin crawl in a way I couldn't explain. I pulled away and snapped again, harsher this time, telling him to stop. He looked confused, then annoyed, then resigned, like this was just another version of me he didn't understand but didn't want to fight. That made it worse. The fact that he backed off so easily, accepted my mood without pushing back, made me feel unseen. I wanted him to notice something was wrong, but I didn't want to explain it either, because I didn't even know what it was. So I lay there, staring at the ceiling, feeling full of emotions that had nowhere to go. The next morning, I woke up with that familiar mix of guilt and irritation. The kids were coming home later. The routine was about to restart, and instead of feeling relieved, I felt this quiet panic.